Welcome to Praise to the Gods, selections from the Hymns of Orpheus, part 2 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. Orpheus was an ancient spiritual master born in Thrace, a region of northern Greece, and is believed to have been the son of the Thracian king Oeagrus. After his beloved wife Eurydice died in a tragic accident, he devoted his life to spiritual understanding. His spiritual teachings focus on the belief that human souls are divine and immortal, and once these divine souls come down to earth, they become trapped in the cycle of successive rebirths. Therefore, utmost importance is placed on our actions on earth. This belief was upheld by the venerated ancient master, a compassionate vegetarian who taught his followers that refraining from animal-peopled flesh was an essential element for the salvation of humans. Orphism became a religious and spiritual movement that was very prominent in ancient Greece. Many esteemed philosophers were greatly influenced by the teachings, including Pythagoras, Plato, and Empedocles. The enlightened Greek philosopher Plato wrote about the impact of the vegetarian diet on the Orphics, or followers of Orphism, in his book, Laws. Men abstained from flesh on the grounds that it was impious to eat it, or to stain the altars of the gods with blood. It was a kind of Orphic life, as it was called, that was led by those of our kind who were alive at that time, taking freely of all things that had not life, but abstaining from all that had life. In addition to being a spiritual master, Orpheus was also a legendary musician and poet. One of his most famous works is the Hymns of Orpheus, where spiritual teachings are set in poetic form. Let us continue with selections from the Hymns of Orpheus. To the seasons. Daughters of Jove and Themis, seasons bright, justice and blessed peace and lawful right, vernal and grassy, vivid, holy powers, whose balmy breath exhales in lovely flowers. All colored seasons, rich increase your care, circling, forever flourishing and fair, invested with a veil of shining dew, a flowery veil delightful to the view. Attending Proserpine, when back from night, the fates and graces lead her up to light, when in a band harmonious they advance, and joyful round her form the solemn dance. With Sirius triumphing and Jove divine, propitious come and on our incense shine. Give earth a blameless store of fruits to bear, and make a novel mystic's life your care. To Cupid, or Love. I call great Cupid, source of sweet delight, holy and pure and lovely to the sight, darting and winged, impetuous fierce desire, with gods and mortals playing wandering fire. Cautious and twofold, keeper of the keys, of heaven and earth, the air and spreading seas, of all that Ceres' fertile realms contains, by which the all-parent goddess life sustains. For thee, all nature's various realms obey, who rules alone with universal sway. To the Fates, the destiny goddesses. Daughters of darkling night, much named, draw near. Infinite fates, and listen to my prayer, who in the heavenly lake where waters white burst from a fountain hid in depths of night, and through a dark and stony cavern glide, a cave profound, invisible, abide, from whence, wide coursing round the boundless earth, your power extends to those of mortal birth. To men with hope elated, trifling, gay, a race presumptuous, born but to decay, whose life 'tis yours in darkness to conceal, to sense impervious in a purple veil. When through the fatal plain they joyful ride in one great car, opinion for their guide, until each completes his heaven-appointed round, at justice, hope, and care's concluding bound. The terms absolved, prescribed by ancient law, of power immense and just, without a flaw, for fate alone, with vision unconfined, surveys the conduct of the mortal kind. Fate is Jove's perfect and eternal eye, for Jove and fate our every deed descry, Come, gentle powers, well-born, benevolence famed, Atropos, Lachesis, and Clotho the fates named. Unchanged, aerial, wandering in the night, restless, invisible to mortal fight, fates all producing, all destroying here, regard the incense and the holy prayer. Propitious listen to these rites inclined, and far avert distress with placid mind. To Nemesis, goddess of divine retribution. Thee, Nemesis, I call, almighty queen, by whom the deeds of mortal life are seen, eternal, much revered, of boundless sight, alone rejoicing in the just and right, changing the counsels of the human breast, forever various, rolling without rest. To every mortal is thy influence known, and humans beneath thy righteous bondage groan. For every thought within the mind concealed is to thy fight perspicuously revealed. The soul unwilling reason to obey, by lawless passion ruled, thy eyes survey. All to see, hear, and rule, O power divine, whose nature equity contains, is thine. Come, blessed, holy goddess, hear my prayer, and make thy mystic's life thy constant care. Give aid benevolent in the needful hour, and strength abundant to the reasoning power, and far avert the dire, unfriendly race of counsels impious, arrogant, and base. To Vulcan, god of fire, strong, mighty Vulcan, bearing splendid light, unwearied fire, with flaming torrents bright, strong-handed, deathless, and of art divine, pure element, a portion of the world is thine. All taming artist, all diffusive power, 'tis thine supreme, all substance to devour. Ether, sun, moon, and stars, light pure and clear, for these thy lucid parts to humans appear. To thee all dwellings, cities, tribes belong, diffused through mortal bodies bright and strong. Here blessed power to holy rites incline, and all propitious on the incense shine. Suppress the rage of fire's unwearied frame, and still preserve our nature's vital flame. To Aesculapius, god of medicine. Great Aesculapius, skilled to heal humankind, all-ruling and physician kind, whose arts medicinal can alone assuage diseases dire and stop their dreadful rage. Strong lenient God, regard my suppliant prayer. Bring gentle health, adorned with lovely hair. Convey the means of mitigating pain, and raging, deadly pestilence restrain. O power all flourishing, abundant, bright, Apollo's honored offspring, god of light, husband of blameless health, the constant foe of dread disease, the minister of woe. Come, blessed Savior, and my health defend, and to my life afford a prosperous end. To health. O much desired, prolific general queen, hear me, life-bearing health of beauteous mien. Mother of all, by thee, diseases dire, of bliss destructive, from our life retire. And every house is flourishing and fair, if with rejoicing aspect thou art there. Each daedal art thy vigorous force inspires, and all the world thy helping hand desires. Pluto, life's bane alone, resists thy will, and ever hates thy all-preserving skill. O fertile queen, from thee forever flows, to mortal life from agony repose. And humans without thy all-sustaining ease find nothing useful, nothing formed to please. Without thy aid, not Plutus' self can thrive, nor human to much afflicted age arrive. For thou alone of countenance serene, to govern all things universal queen, assist thy mystics with propitious mind, and far avert disease of every kind.
I stopped eating meat. We can go without meat. It's good for animals. It's good for the planet, and therefore it's good for people. Mauricio Garcia Pereira, vegetarian.
Benevolent viewers, thank you for your company for today's Words of Wisdom.